Hey everybody, this is Rich. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play awesome tabletop RPGs with friends. This is the second of 4 sessions of something cool I'm doing here in March of 2020 called Farscape Fridays. Farscape is this TV show from 1999 to 2003 that played on Sci-Fi. It was wild and weird and sexy and fun, and it was a co-production of like Hallmark Entertainment and the Jim Henson Company. So there were Muppets as aliens, friends. Everybody's like, oh, this Yoda, this baby Yoda, which is technically the child. Oh, it's amazing. I've never seen this. Many of us 20 years ago had, except that baby Yoda farted helium. So different, a little different. We are in our second session, so we already have 3 established characters. We are going to have Patrick join us and introduce his character first, and then we'll have everybody introduce their characters. Then we'll circle back to Patrick's character to establish hooks. Cool? So let's kick off with our fine captain of the Romy. By the way, folks, if you look in the ship ship tab, I found a picture. If someone doesn't like it, that's fine. I have other pictures. I kind of like that one because it's got like, here's where things are, and it's a nice little layout. It doesn't look super Farscapey, but I'll be honest with you, like there aren't many Farscapey ships out there that isn't the Leviathan, and since I said there's not going to be a Leviathan, I kind of screwed myself. So there you go. Steven, if you could take us away, introduce yourself and your character, I'd appreciate it.
Hi, my name's Steven. I use the pronouns he, him. I'll be playing Lastrin or Lass, a scoundrel Delvan, and she's sexy and charming. And tries to talk her way through all sorts of things and fails.
That's true, and also her nice ship, the Romy, is occasionally chased by a Luxon Predator crew. I have defined that crew's captain and named the ship the Macabre. I thought about doing the Macabre something, but I thought it's Luxons. They're just going to call it the Macabre. I have stuck the captain in the NPCs tab. Her name is Captain Durgot, and she's kind of a cool looking Luxon. So that's one of my favorite Luxon pictures ever. So there you go. Next, we will go to Andy. If you could introduce yourself and your character.
Yeah, I'm Andy, he, him. And my character Karvok is a Hynerian. So, little foot and then some green dude who's a Tempest, experimented on by the Peacekeepers and given psychic powers.
Which he's totally cool with, right? There's no stress about that whatsoever, right? That's good. All good. Yeah, awesome. And you are hunted by, or not hunted by, you want to get revenge on the leader of the PK Science Division that experimented on you. Her name is Lieutenant Cresto. And Lieutenant Cresto is also in the NPCs tab starting on row 31. So you can find a picture of her. Yes, I'm going stunt casting Ming Na Wen, who's done the full gamut. Like the EGOT, she's done like every major Disney thing. She's played a character. She's been in Marvel, Star Wars. She's been in all of it. Now she's been in Farscape Friends. That's the kind of pull I have. So Ming Na Wen is playing Lieutenant Cresto. Sabine, if you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Sorry. Yeah, hi, I'm Sabine. I use any pronouns. I am playing Sifron. Sifron is a Nebari infiltrator. Sifron is an androgen. They are not widely accepted in the Nebari society, who don't like things that stick out, and Sifron kind of tends to like sticking out actually a bit. Sifron is an infiltrator, as I said, and they like stealing stuff, I guess, and also they like shooting stuff. And sometimes they hit, and sometimes they hit a little too well, I guess. So, yeah.
was referring to session 1 when Zifrin failed at a shot and actually shot the thing, and then it bounced along and alerted an entire nest of Kiva, and then they ended up getting chased. But it was a good shot.
It was exciting. I have changed my hook, by the way, the Crystal Candelabra hook, to I am addicted to adrenaline.
Oh, that's awesome.
It seemed to fit with the way Zifrin behaved. So
I approve. And now I will go and remove the Interion that I had created to be part of the Crystal Candelabra. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here. Awesome. Patrick, could you please introduce us to your character?
So hi, I'm Patrick, he, him, and I am playing Tolvin, also he, him, a Bannock mystic, who the Bannocks are a psychic, semi-magical slave race that I believe have mostly been enslaved because they're weird and psychic and semi-magical. They act in their sort of ideal way as guides across from life to death. But all that's become twisted by being a slave race. So Tolvin has escaped that. I think he's taken it as his personal mission to free his people that for the most part have convinced themselves they don't want to be free. And so is sort of fighting an uphill battle against his own people and also the rest of the universe. He is wiry and elegant and faded. He has some impressive looking things from Bannock history, but they're very old and he can't quite manage the money to look that impressive himself.
Excellent. You have some hooks to hand out. You guys are an established crew, because I don't want to have you meet at a space bar. We will be at a space bar later in the session, though.
I think it totally makes sense that I need to teach Karvok that not every problem can be solved with violence. We'll see if that's actually a possible lesson to teach Karvok, but you know.
I think that's a perfect fit.
Let's see, what else do I have? Oh, I don't think anyone's a soulless killer.
And these are, again, suggestions you can tweak. I can also unhide I've got creation 1 unhidden. So if you see hooks in an unused archetype or playbook that you like, grab it.
I mean, if you're looking for a soulless killer, I'm sure some people would claim that Zifrin is something of that sort. Probably be wrong, but well, I mean, it's hard to prove that you have soul, right?
Here we go. I'll steal one from the intellect. Let's see, Loss. Loss can't keep it in their pants and it's going to cause problems. Let's see.
Cool. All right. So now that we've got everyone or Tolvin's hooks going out, does anyone have any hooks that they think might apply to Tolvin, the poor Bannock revolutionary who might be a little misled about how much of a revolutionist people want?
So I have a couple. Do you imagine that you're kind of a leader of this revolution?
Yeah. So I think with that picture that I'd found and the sort of crown element to the mask. I think he's found some proof or convinced himself that he's like a descendant of an ancient Bannock royal line sort of thing. So yeah, he sees himself as the leader to bring his people together.
Nice. So my hook is Tolvin isn't a leader anymore. I don't have to take their orders.
Nice.
Cool. Any for Karvok or Zifrin that you guys want to apply back? Not required. I just want to make sure that I open up space for it.
I think I'm pretty good with what I've got still.
Yeah, I don't have any I feel are really appropriate because I don't know. I like the one I've got.
And instead of the soulless killer thing, I went with I can't let Zifrin know how much they intimidate me.
Okay, so I'm totally unaware that why would I intimidate you? I'm just a soulless killer. I mean, not soulless, totally soulful killer. Oh,
Tolvin,
wow.
Tolvin is very small, by the way. He's like 5'6" and weighs nothing.
I mean, small is relative here.
True enough.
Well, you like
Okay.
being around the Hynerian. Makes you feel like a big man or something. I don't know. Sweet. Do we have any start? Oh, before we get into moves, as a reminder, we have lines and veils. We have safety tools here in this game. We have lines and veils that are already filled out, but I like to highlight it for folks just to make sure that if they've got a thing that they wanted to put a line or veil on today that they didn't the last time, then they can't. You certainly can. We currently have lines. Lines mean that this will not appear in our game. It's just not aspects of the fiction that we're interested in. We have lines on death or endangerment of children, animal abuse, sexual assault, sexual violence, or sexual coercion, and torture perpetrated by the PCs, which means I'm fine. I'm good to torture as much as I want. That's what it says, okay? But I'm probably not going to torture. Also, a line on suicide. There are veils on consensual sex. It's a sexy game, so it probably will happen, but we will fade to black. A veil on gore, and someone has paid attention to Farscape because there's a veil on eyeballs. Eyeball torture, totally a thing in Farscape. Totally a thing. We also have lines on, or no, let's see. There is an ask first on betrayal between player characters, which I think is a really good call. Farscape characters often betray each other, and we're not saying it can't be done, but if it's one of those things where you feel like, yeah, I'm totally screwing you over, just check in. That's all we ask. But on top of those lines and veils, we have the X card. So if there's anything that significantly bothers you, causes you to the point where you want to withdraw from play, all you need to do before you do that, and of course you can go, open door policy. If you need to go, go. You're adults. We're here to have fun. If something impairs your fun and it can't be repaired, go. It's cool. It's real life intrudes. That's fine too. Try to give me a heads up if you can. If you can't, hopefully you're okay. But the X card is there for you. You can make an X. You can say, hey, Rich, I need to X card this thing. Or in our Roll for Your Party, our wonderful Roll for Your Party, you can click on the X card button there. We'll stop play. I'll check in with you just to make sure that I understand what has been X carded if it isn't super obvious. And then we'll excise it from our play, figure out how to move forward, and then we will do so. No harm, no foul. And last thing I say about X card before we move on is that if you think, oh, this is kind of squicky to me, but I'll let it ride, and after a bit it gets to be too much, you can still X card. Don't feel like you need to sit there in silence. I from personal experience, there was a point when I didn't X card a thing, and then it just became like this running gag, and I felt guilty, like I hadn't said something at the start. So I thought, oh, they're going to be like, oh no, it's no big deal, right? You know, and I really wish I hadn't. So I don't want you to go through that, friends. By the way, that was like years ago. It was pre-Gauntlet, so it's nothing no one knows any of the folks that were involved in that game. It's over and done with. It was a learning experience for me. As I had mentioned pre-recording, this is what happened in session 1 briefly. You guys made a deal with an unnamed Zenitan garbologist. Garbologists study garbage, friends. That's why they're called garbologists. This garbologist hooked you guys up with some intoxicants, some illicit drugs. They were effervescent liquids that you hid in a hidden part of your smuggler's ship. I started to say sky ship. This is not Lady Blackbird. Just get that out of your head, Rich. Get it out of your head. Although, but no. So you guys hid that on board, and you also had some cheap cargo, and we decided the cheap cargo was missives. It was letters. You were delivering mail. Where? To a Budong mining camp. Budong. Oh God, I want to make that now. Let's just stop the game and make Lady Farbart drive. Wait, that sounds weird. Anyway. So you guys were delivering mail to a Budong mining camp. Budongs are these creatures that are like the size of a small planetoid. And this mining camp is under new management because the last manager had his arm sizzled off when someone shot a pustule near him, and the acid, well, it killed him. So new management, including a particular Bannock by the name of Rovu. Rovu was the person who helped you guys move. See, he's not in charge. He's a fixer who's at the Budong mining camp. He was the person who received you guys and said, yeah, that's cool. Let's make a trade. Loss worked and kind of tried to get the best possible deal for the effervescent liquids. I don't know why I say liquids, but liquids. And also, you, for this Zenitan garbologist, needed to get some Kidva meat. Kidva are these gorilla or ape-like creatures that patrol the carcass of this particular Budong. And yeah, Rovo set you guys up with a nice little indicator, whereupon you found a Kidva nest. So you've done your mail drop. You've got your hookup with Rovu to sell the effervescent liquids. So you just need to go down and fetch a Kidva. That's fine. That ended up being a little more challenge than you anticipated. You shot and killed a Kidva really well. Good job, Zifrin. Unfortunately, it alerted the nest of Kidva. You guys got into a pretty big scrap, and you killed a second Kidva. Good job, like double the meat. Except carrying them turned out to be a little problematic. So the last moment, like our to be continued, ended with Las had a Kidva on her. There were a couple of dead Kidva, and trying to stop an advance, or no, Karvok was successful in stopping the advance of the Kidva at the last moment. He was very fearsome. But as you guys are trying to collect yourselves, and maybe you probably need to do something about your captain because she's the one who best flies the ship, that's kind of her thing. But you did hear that they are moving through the mine shafts, which are effectively large capillaries of the Budong mine, as they're trying to feint or find something around. But at this point, you have a moment to breathe, except for Laz, who maybe has less than a moment to breathe. But we're not going to pick up with the three of you. That's what happened, and we're expecting that, but it's Farscape, so we don't go with expectations. Tolvin, our Bannock mystic, you stayed on the ship. So what bizarre mystic ritual did you have to perform? And was it because you're on the Budong mining camp and you know, it's the whole like dead thing, or was that really a lie and you wanted to stay behind for another reason?
No, I think I have to perform some sort of like ceremony to clear out the psychic air here around this Budong camp.
Nice. So a lot of people came, they received missives and mail from other folks that they're sending credits and their monies off to while working here in the Budong mine, hoping to get rich on Nagelti crystals or finding some big vein of weird bioorganic essence or fluvia that can be resold. Fluvia, I think that's how you say it, not fluvia. I don't know why I put an extra L in there. So this ritual, is this a thing where I think maybe we just need to hit a move? Because that would be fun, right? You're good at this.
Sure.
Cool. So there's this thing called, Rich is looking for it. It's in the exploration moves, on the basic moves, called Into the Abyss. When you stare unblinking into the abyss, looking for forbidden or forgotten knowledge, roll with alien.
Okay. So I think what I'm looking for is this. Just tell me about this camp again, real quick.
Yeah. So the way that the Budong mining camp works is you guys pulled in with Romy, your ship, and the main mining camp, there's like this central hub where a lot of people live under tents, and they've laid a bunch of deck plating down so you actually have solid ground to sit upon. And then all the capillaries and veins of the Budong are effectively the pre-done mine shafts that everyone will grab carts and head down. It was a first season Farscape from long ago. It's the one
Gotcha.
where, yeah. Okay.
Okay. So yeah, I think what it is this like huge space corpse is just putting off these really weird ripples in the psychic energy and the sort of psychic network around here. And I think if I can work with that spirit, if I can, make some sort of connection with it, I could find a way to make it like hide me, or maybe other Bannocs if I bring them here. Make a place that it would be hard to track down our particular psychic energies.
Oh, interesting. And you've got do you know Rovu? The fixer who is also a Bannoc, who is here on the mining colony?
I mean, probably.
Okay, cool.
As we see in Farscape, all members of a particular species know all other members of that species, no matter how far away they are in the galaxy.
True. At least they're not all related to each other. Because then it'd be weird when they have sex, because Farscape. Sweet. So, yep, I went there. Let's see you roll for it there. I see these beautiful baby blue dice you got up there.
All right.
Plus alien, and your alien should be good, right? Yeah.
I'm good at alien.
You're very alien. Look at you with a 2.
All right. Well, that's an 11.
Nice. An 11 is pretty great. So on an 11, a 10 plus, you're shown dark visions that lend you insight. Ask the Abyss one question, and the Abyss will answer. The SM, that's what we call the MC in this game. They're called Space Masters.
Ooh.
The SM will ask you one question from the Abyss stares back. So I kind of know, if you want to just say the question is what you just told me before, that's...
Yeah, the question would be like, how can I win your protection?
Nice. You commune with the essence of the Budong here. This Budong, the spirit remains, which is why there have been several cycles of a mining camp here, is that it rots more slowly because the spirit of the Budong is holding it, has not passed on. As a Bannoc who is a Stycherian, you help spirits to pass on. But in order to do that, you would need to convince this Budong that its mate will not be returning for it. How can you convince it to give it your protection? If you help it to pass on, then it will be grateful in those brief moments before it dissipates, but it would give you no protection. You would have to hold its spirit here. However, that spirit is in communion with the Kidva. These Kidva served as a kind of antibody, as it were. And so you could, if you wanted, you know that they went Kidva hunting, you could commune with the Kidva and speak with them, and I will give you a chance to roll with advantage, trying to convince the Kidva to listen to you. And that's how you could gain some protection. Because the Kiva could effectively be guards for your band of people, if only you hold the spirit from passing on. Does that feel Farscape-y? Yeah? Yes,
Yeah,
no?
no, that's
All right, good. I like that. So I get to ask you a question from The Abyss Stares Back. That starts on row 40 under the action moves. Probably not an action thing. I should probably stick that under exploration. That said, what are your character's secret pains?
So I think in relation to this, it would be the moment when he was expelled, excommunicated from the Stychira, this idea that he wanted to fight back, that the Bannock weren't just to passively serve as this like spiritual functionary for the rest of the galaxy while wearing slave collars for the rest of eternity, like turning on that and having them in turn turn their back on him. Like this is basically an enormous physical example of that choice. Like he can choose to do the right thing by the Stychira and clear out this area, but then he'd be doing the wrong thing in his mind by his people by doing that.
Indeed. Yeah, that's rough. Rough stuff. So, yes, you have this communion. You realize that you can tap into the spirit of the Budong itself and communicate with the Kidva. And as you do, you sense them. They are hungry. They are on the hunt. There are prey within the Budong that they are chasing. So let's go visit that prey. We pick up with one of the Budongs, like got this weird kind of toothy maw that's coming for Lass, and Lass, of course, in like a almost Star Trek homage, just like holding the face back from biting her face off. Lass, what do you want to do here besides not die?
Where are Zivrin and Karvok? Are they nearby?
Yes, they are nearby. Zifrin had picked up one of the Kiva and tried to carry it and didn't do so hot. And Karvok just chased off a bunch of them by seeming extremely impressive and big for a Hynerian. So they're near enough to where they could potentially assist you if they chose to.
Okay. So basically, I've got one, and I'm kind of trying to hold it off. And I think I'm going to try to roll out from underneath it and escape.
Okay.
Scoot in the direction of Karvok.
Awesome. What you need to do then is act quick. When you use your instincts or reflex to avoid a danger or negotiate through danger towards a goal, roll with Slick.
Okay, nice. Let's see how that looks. I rolled a 5, and my Slick is a 2, so that's a 7.
All right. With a 7 to 9, you do it, but choose one. You're off balance or rushed, and you have disadvantage going forward, which means you'll roll 3d6, pick the lowest 2 on your very next roll. You've left something behind. The Space Master will tell you what, or you're pushed to your limits from the effort and suffer 1 stress.
So I think I'll take a stress.
Good call.
I think as I pull out of there, like it, it pulls on my leg and I'm kind of stretched out, and maybe I'm pulled that leg a little bit or something like that.
Nice. That totally makes sense. So you slide out of the way. The thing collapses forward, its forward momentum failing because you got out of the way. Karvok, you see Lass has extricated herself from the Kidva's grasp. And Zifrin, yeah. So Zifrin, what are you doing? Because Karvok just did his like scare them all away routine there. It worked pretty well.
So are they still scared away, or do we need to scare them some more?
There's only one Kidva here that you immediately need to deal with, and that's the one that that Lost just escaped from. The others had kind of backed off, and then they went out to different side passages and were you'd halted their advance.
I guess I can just go and set up an alpha strike. I think at this point, this thing needs to die, right? Because it will continue to attack us, and you can't negotiate with these things anyway. So what the hell? Let's have a little fun with that. I've got a pulse pistol. I've got my sniper rifle, which I still got in my hand because. So let's use that one because this thing is far enough away and Lass is out of the way. So I'll try to shoot it.
All right, roll with calculating.
Okay. Yeah, with calculating, I do it 8.
Nice. All right, with a 7 to 9 on Alpha Strike, you take what you can get. You disarm or disable them, or you can deal your weapons harm, or you can discharge it to double the harm, or you can choose that your position is not exposed or compromised.
I mean, if I disable it, I guess that's the best. Disable it because there's no other things right near me. So if it doesn't matter if I'm exposed.
All right, that totally makes sense. So, do you imagine you disabled it by like hitting it in a limb, or
was pretty injured already, if I remember that correctly?
It was, yeah.
So maybe it's just injure it some more, and then it either that or we'll decide that maybe this isn't a good way to fight people and crawl off and hope that it doesn't get eaten by everybody, every other Kidva around here.
All right.
Don't know if they eat their own.
Well, you may find out. You shoot it. Let's say you shoot it kind of in the shoulder, back of the neck. Groans in pain and falls to the ground, which is the base of this little capillary here. And it starts with its one arm, starts slowly kind of trying to drag itself back and away from you guys, but it is quite wounded. You now have 2 Kidva bodies, 1 severely injured, nearly dead Kidva, and passageway home. Like, yeah, you can.
When I hear that it starts to groan and makes this kind of noise, I kind of wince a bit and say, "Yeah, I know how you feel, buddy," because I've got tore some ligament in my back.
Yeah, you did. It's like pulls itself and kind of slithers, moving over its own blood trail.
Let's get out of here.
So who'd like to lead the charge to get the heck out of Dodge?
Oh, I'm getting out. I'll do that.
All right. Let's have you act quick, and you're kind of rolling for the party here to see if you are able to be slick and get out before they regroup.
Okay. Let's see. I rolled a 5, and my slick is a 2, so just skated underneath.
You do it, but choose one. You're off balance or rush. You have disadvantage going forward. You left something behind. I'll tell you what. Or you're pushed to your limits with the effort and clear and suffer 1 stress.
So let's say we left something behind. You'll tell me what.
Cool. I'm going to say that you can only grab one of the 2 Kidva. Seems the most logical for what's going on. It's just you guys are injured, you're hurt, you don't have a whole lot of strength. These things weigh like 400 pounds. So you grab one and are able to drag one. You leave the wounded one and the dead one, the second dead one, behind. And before long, you can see the lights from the main hub. You see that up ahead, and you can hear some of the Kidva calling. Tolvan, you're still in Romy, and you've had this communion with the Kidva. You feel one of them dying. You feel its last thoughts as it worries for its kin, for its children, because these raiders have come and invaded the nest. What do you do, Tolvin, with that information?
Oh, Dran, these things are supposed to protect our people. We can't have them all dying. It's not going to work at all. Could I try and use? I have a scanner. Could I try and use my scanner to track down where this like vicious attack on the Kidva is going on?
Sure. Yeah, you could totally do that. We have a cool exploration move of scope it out. I think with your scanner, does that give you a bonus? Like
yeah, expend a use and get advantage on scope it out.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm gonna go like dashing out of the ship and pressing random non-buttons on the flat glowing panel that is the scanner.
Nice. I love that. That scanner's so cool.
And what's that? Calculating?
Yes.
Ooh, that's the advantage. You guys, ugh, that's a 10.
That's nice. With a 10, you get 3 questions. Do you have those questions handy? Do you need me to drop them in? Okay.
I guess what's my best way in would be like finding where to get to them.
Yes. Your best way in is to, there's a particular capillary mine, it's mine 43. And yeah, that's where you feel is the best way in.
Let's see. How could I best end this quickly?
Well, if you are able to get the raiders out, you can feel that the Kidva have them on the run. If you can stop this fight and get the raiders to run away, then the Kidva will no longer pursue.
Gotcha. Oh, why not? The ever interesting who or what here is not what they seem.
Awesome. So, as you head towards Mine Shaft 43 and start to, you realize, oh, the raiders, they're Las and Zifrin and Karvok, and they're carrying one of the carcasses of the Kidva, which the Kidva will never forgive and never forget. But you pick up on Ruvo, the other Bannock here, the fixer, the setter, or Rovu, sorry, not Ruvo, Rovu. And you see that he's got a comm unit, like a little comm headset on, and he's having a conversation with someone, and he did not see you coming up near him, and you hear him say, yeah, Durgat, yeah, they're here. Standard rate. Standard. You're getting a deal. Better hurry. Up ahead, Lost, since you're leading the way, you see Tolvin. He's moving into the shaft up near. Maybe he's coming here to help you guys out. Maybe he's got it's going to use that crazy weird weapon he has to guard you from any Kidva that are coming after you. And you can hear them roaring and snarling. What do you do, Lost, at the last moment when Tolvin comes in to help you out?
Tolvin, I'm so glad you're here. I mean, we could have used you before, but I mean, coming to save the day. Karvok is hurt pretty badly, as am I. Can you help us carry this prize back to the ship and, cover us to make sure we don't get attacked from the rear?
I've also torn something in my back, and this is very heavy.
I cannot help you carry that. I can hold back the pack, but you have to get this thing to the ship, and you have to get it ready. Durgat is on her way, and if we don't leave soon, we'll all die here.
Poodoo. Where's the list of curses?
I don't have a list of. It's in the primer.
Yeah,
I should probably stick that in the keeper at some point. Sorry.
Well, I've got the primer, and I've kind of got it up here. It was like Dren. Oh,
yeah.
And I start,
Yes!
kind of double timing it, limping and, trying to make my way with this heavy thing. And, I think I start to say actually harsh words, come on, we got to move it. Let's keep going,
Nice. Remind me, you did offload the crate of stuff you gave to Rule. So that transaction's taken place. He paid you, so you got the Krangets, or credits, the money. No, that's right. You got paid in Nogelty crystals.
Yeah, we had a little bit of money and a little bit of crystals.
Yeah.
We also skimmed some of the drugs off the top.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
That's why not, right?
I remember that. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. So you guys have already made that transaction. So it's not like you're skating out without getting paid. You're not dining and dashing, as it were. And you see a bunch of miners look and see a Kidva. They give out a cheer like, yeah, stupid Kidva. And a couple of them are laughing, and one of them says, "Oh, come on over here by my fire. Yeah, I can shave it for you."
I cheer back, rah! I say, if any of you want, there's a wounded one and a dead one back there too. You can go get the meat and bring it back with you, but be careful. Yeah. And then I rush on past. I'm like, we're making it to the ship. Let those guys figure out what else is going on. Oh, so in Farscape, how do they track where people are? Just visually? There's not like scanners or, trackers or anything like that. Is that right?
That's a great question. It's not super clear. There are literal scanners.
Right.
So there seem to be some things in. There are references to like scans show a couple of times, but not often. So visual range is usually how things are. But then there are beacons, like transponder beacons, that I've seen used and kind of planted by certain people. Or there's a particular being that can plant his own eyes in different places and see things simultaneously.
Okay, thank you.
But that's only on one weird druggy planet. So yeah. So you guys are rushing towards the Romy. Who deals with the carcass?
I guess that's me mostly. Because it can be the Hynerian, and Lass is pretty badly banged up. And though I'm complaining about my back and that I tore it, and that I would appreciate some kind of help, but well, okay, I'm dragging this thing. Yay.
Oh, I appreciate your dedication. I hope they do too.
They
so you guys
won't.
you all get onto the Romy, start ignoring pre-flight checks to throw her into gear to try to get the heck out of here. And first session, if you remember, there was a ship that was in geosynchronous orbit, but it was not dealing with you guys. It was something you just kind of slid right into the Budong without any problem. So you guys back out, and the Romy is starting to head out of the side of the Budong. You see that ship is actually in the process of moving, and you see that sure enough, there is. Oh, I have a picture. Let me show the picture. Sorry. There it is. Yeah. You see, coming in far range is the Macabre. She's big, heavy. Looks like it's of general Scarran design, but it's not a Scarran military ship. This Luxon crew used to have a Luxon ship, but they traded up. So this is a 3-deck ship that has a number of armaments. Getting into a face-to-face fight with this thing without any help would be a very big challenge. So, what do you guys want to do?
So as we, skip the pre-flight checks, I make sure and I reach under and flip this switch under the desk. And outside the camera picks up, and you see our ship, the Romy, and you see this piece kind of, when I flip that switch, it goes clong, and it goes to the floor. I think this is like our transponder, right?
Nice.
And then I think we're going to take off, and my hope is we can trick them into thinking we're still here.
Oh, that is really pretty clever. Let's see if you can pull off that awesome trick.
Can I
Yes.
help? I mean, since I have this weird hacker move, maybe I can help with that.
I think you should support a crew member's efforts in an action before they roll by using the lean on me. Roll with stalwart.
Well, Star Wars, not a thing I'm very good at. Oh, well, I rolled a 10, so that is
Nice.
actually not too bad.
On a 10 plus, you're helpful and supportive. You get to choose two. You can give loss advantage on this roll.
Yes.
Or you can clear one of your own stress.
Yes.
Or you are not exposed to danger or complication for your efforts.
I'm not exposed to danger. I'm on the same ship, so I'll go and clear some stress because apparently hacking into systems is a thing that kind of relaxes me. Also, we're going into danger, which is nice anyway.
Okay, cool. So you clear one stress and give loss advantage on this roll to, I think, manipulate, right? You're not intimidating. You're definitely manipulating, using promises to manipulate someone into doing what you want. Does that feel right?
Yeah, that sounds good. Thank you for the advantage. I rolled an 8, and that is with manipulate is with slick. My slick is 2. So
actually, con artist is an even better.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So let's jump over to con artist, which is one of your moves. You're still rolling with slick. So
okay.
what was the roll?
10.
Okay, on a 10 plus, your deception is masterful. Hold 2. As you act out and maintain your deception, you may spend hold 1 for 1 on the following. Something small escapes their notice. Suspicion or blame is shifted away from you. So which of the...
So I think it makes a lot of sense that suspicion or blame is shifted away from us, so they think the ship is still docked. Is the something small escape their notice? Could that be us slipping away?
Absolutely. That sounds great. So, you guys slip away. You've dropped your transponder beacon, which is going to make it challenging to identify friend or foe kind of stuff.
Tolvin is back with us at the ship, right? Because I don't know.
I think so.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Tolvin, did you stick around on the Budong mining camp?
No, I eventually caught up with them. I was going to stay to hold back the pack, but then
I didn't do a good job. I moved past you. I apologize.
It's fine.
You did a thing. We cut back and you're finishing up with telling the Kiva to chill out, and they do.
Just having some sandwiches with finishing up smoke. All right, I gotta go, guys.
It's like one Kiva with a little pinky up, teacup. Netherlands making cucumber sandwiches, wearing a bonnet. I don't know.
They're really quite civilized. I don't know why you got in that fight with them.
Cool, blimey, just came in here and shot one of my cousins. Sweet. So you guys hop into space, and to make sure that you get away, I think it might be... Let me pause and say I understand that Leviathans have starburst drives and that most ships in Farscape don't. That said, since I was mean enough to say we're not on a Leviathan, I'm also terrible enough to say that the Romy does have a starburst drive. So there you go. So the best place to sell off the Nagelti crystals that you got there is a commerce station not far from here that you guys have been to before. You should be able to get a pretty decent rate. This commerce station doesn't have, there's no pipeline between the Budong mining camp and the commerce station, because the last manager of the Budong mining camp, who is dead now, had pissed off some of the people on the commerce station. So you can do pretty well with Nagelti crystals there. Unless you guys would like to make some die rolls to figure out other places to offload it, which this game supports.
No, let's keep it simple.
All right. Let's have you starburst. When you starburst through normal space into drill space, or through normal space to travel to a neighboring or local star system. Roll plus alien. Roll with alien. Who wants to make that roll?
I can actually do that.
Yeah, you're super alien.
Yeah, like maybe I've got this weird psychic edge that as I like work the engine or whatever, like maybe that's one of the weird little rolls that I do.
Nice. So if you take a look at the map of the Romy on the ship tab, you see that there's a cool little captain's pilot console and navigations and weapons console, both on the bridge. So do you pilot from the navigations console? I would assume yes. I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
All right. Rock on. Cool. So let's have you roll with alien.
All right. That is a 9 plus alien for 10.
Nice. All right. On a 10 plus, you get there with no complications. Fantastic, friends.
While we're in transit, I would
Yes.
go over to Lass, and I mean, I see that you're bleeding there. Maybe you want me to look at that, and once we're done, you could look at my muscle thing that I pulled. Just,
Honey, I think we've looked at each other enough. But
It's awkward.
yeah, you weren't bleeding so much last time, though.
yeah, or at
Not
least
that
it
I'm
was
saying that's-
consensual.
I'm not saying it's unattractive or anything, but I mean, I think the stuff belongs inside of you.
Yes. Yeah, you always did take good care of me, and I appreciate that. And I think let's retire back to my quarters.
Yeah.
And I think I have like not a potted plant, but like a trough, right? Because Delvins have to or can help if they are in soil.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I'm going to kind of lay down in this trough to try and get some nutrients and relax a little bit. And I definitely accept your help.
Yeah, well, I'll water you.
Perfect. You know what I like.
Yeah, I guess I mean, not everything apparently, but yeah, sure. I mean, like this, and I'm watering.
So is this a recover?
Yes. I'm sorry. I was just having trouble recovering myself there. Please, please go ahead and roll to recover. So on recovery, you just go ahead and roll with stalwart.
But you're not rolling for someone else, right? I'm not rolling to help.
No, that's good. That's a good question. So we're actually out of combat, so I'm okay with you guys if you want to use first aid to spend a use of a tactical pack. Yeah, so mostly the recover happens while you're in the middle of a firefight, which you guys are good to go, and you just rolled the starburst drive to have no complications. So if you want to recover injuries, just a scratch and I'm rattled, when a scene, so shrug it off. Sorry. Let me restart. Just a scratch goes at the end of a scene. I'm rattled is healed when a scene ends. So those are both scene ended kind of things. So we don't have to engage recover. Recover happens in the middle of a fight when there's continuing threat. And you guys were able to extricate yourselves through good rolls and clever play.
So would this be more of a lean on me where we're trying to help each other relax and reduce stress and all of that?
Okay. Absolutely. So you can go ahead and uncheck your harm in this scene. Both, Loss had some harm, Different did not. But you can roll lean on me if you want.
I've scratched it. We can both roll, right?
Yep, you certainly can. You can lean on each other and not fall.
I think like as the camera cuts, there's sensual water pouring. It's just back to the bridge, and I'm looking back and forth from where they were up to Karvok, and I'm like, did I miss something?
Okay.
No one's going to answer Portal.
I got a 3. Yes.
Okay.
Oh wow, okay. So I guess I've got a 7, so your support brings some relief. They may clear one stress, so I guess you can clear one stress, and I will be even more kind of embarrassed, maybe like this is still awkward. I'm not comfortable with being so close to somebody.
So let me actually make this a little bit more awkward.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yes.
use my new move of sex
Oh.
appeal,
Oh.
right? And turn on my charm and see
Ooh.
what happens.
Go ahead.
That is a 6 plus my. Oh, that's not a roll.
No. When you turn on your charm, you can always make someone attracted to you or unsettled by you their choice. So you can
Right.
just turn it on.
Yeah, it just
so
happens.
I'm gonna turn it on and do you want to be attracted or unsettled?
Both.
Oh,
Both.
perfect.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that we have like the like 3/4 profile thing where we see blue butt, because blue butt's a thing that happened in Farscape. It's like it's a trope. And the water pouring essentially before we cut away, and then when we come back to the scene when you guys are actually seeing Zifrin's support for Las. Las, you hear Zifrin, and it helps you. But when you try to help Zifrin, it's a little too much.
Oh, I messed you up. Oh, I was not a giving lover.
I'm fine. Everything's great. Let's see if there's anybody still chasing us, right? Because that might lead to a firefight or something like that.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna take it easy back here.
Yeah, you maybe should root yourself a bit more. I'll be around. We'll see each other probably because we're on the same ship, and this is not. Yeah. Fine, I'm going to the bridge.
It's okay. Don't worry. Yeah, you should do that.
Yeah, I'm not worried.
Awesome. Las, Zifrin's support to you actually was successful. So unless you wanted to offer a different choice other than clearing stress, then Las can clear one stress.
Okay, I did that.
And I found after all of this, I did not until just this moment find a picture of what a Kidva looks like. So there you go. That's a Kidva. They're basically white to brown gorilla things with super long arms. So
Wait,
We're
did
really
you
smart.
show us one last time?
did I?
Yeah.
I showed a Budong. I didn't remember showing a Kidva.
Oh,
well, if I
right.
did, yay for me.
We were super smart to go after that thing.
It was a good call. Totally worth it. That garbologist is going to be so happy to have that much meat. Tolvin and Karvok. Karvok, how do you heal yourself up? You do, right? Scene is ended, but I'm kind of curious. How does Karvok take care of those injuries?
So I think like as the ship is set on its course, he like sets the ship on whatever autopilot is there for a moment and goes off and like just kind of digs through all of the cabinets that are at ground level, finding whatever medical supplies he can. You know, there's probably like, you know, these patches of fungus and, you know, maybe some sort of organic tube thing that he squeezes out across one of his arms, that sort of thing.
Nice. And as you're waddling along, a little DRD comes along. They have their two little beeble bobble eye things, and it zips along the deck and comes over towards you and stops and chirps and
Just kind of toss one of the expended fungus patches at it.
It zips up back and it goes around kind of like a mouse droid, like, I don't want to deal with this. Tolvin. So yeah, you've got this Kidva corpse. You know that Predator ship of the Luxons, you guys just barely got away from them. You're headed to a commerce station. What are you doing, Tolvin, during this trip through Starburst?
So I feel like setting up some sort of safe place / workaround with the Kidva would be a good long-term project fodder.
Yeah, if we want to set up that as a project, that sounds awesome to me.
Yeah, could I start by going to this corpse, and I'm gonna begin doing my rituals to move its spirit on, but in the process try and learn about it and get better insight into how to deal with the other Kidva later?
Yeah, let's do that. So we'll assign some clocks to it. Let's see, there is a...
Didn't you have a nifty thing for that?
There is. Hold on, I unhid it. I just gotta find it. There it is. It's in the far right. So clocks. I don't think that actually has what we want. Those are contracts.
Oh, it's on
there we go. It's under string.
2.
Oh, it is character creation 2. Oh yeah, that's
a
right.
Personal project. Right. Yeah.
Cool. Let's just grab that, copy it, and paste it into your thing, and we'll say that this is a... I'll wait until you've copied it over, and we'll mechanic it up, and then we're going to take a bio break.
No? Okay. You don't want to... You just don't want to listen to me? You want to... Come on, computer.
Want me to do it for you? I can paste it over for you.
Ah, someone forgot to turn his keyboard back on. Someone's very smart.
All right. I pasted it over for you.
Thank you.
We'll say that the type, if I remember, it's episode, scene, and season.
Episode, season, yeah.
Yeah, let's say episode, right?
As in, I could make one try at it per episode sort of thing?
Hold on, let me make sure.
Sorry.
I'm remembering the technology correct. Okay, personal project. Page 4. All right. So I need to tell you some stuff you have to do. When you decide to devote your free time to a personal project within the scope of your expertise, say what you want to do, which is protection of the Kidva, safe haven on the Budong colony. Then the SM will say either, sorry, it can't be done, I'm not going to say that, or sure, but then some of the following. You can do it with a 3-tick episode clock.
Okay.
And so if it's an episode project, check a tick on the clock when you perform a scene that moves you towards your goal. And then a scene project is you tick on the clock when you take a successful action that moves you towards the goal. So we're doing episode project. And we'll say it's a 3-tick. And I think you will need to have a bunch of Bannocs to come with you, of course, to complete the project, right? Safe haven and all that good stuff. And I think you will have to, it's going to cost you a favor to the wrong kinds of people, like Rovu, who is in connections on the Budong mining colony. So, you have to deal with him. Sound fair?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Friends, it is 16 after, according to my clock. Let's take, let's just go ahead and take a nice 9-minute break. So we'll meet back at 25 after. So we'll see you guys in a bit. Enjoy your break. So Sabine, or I saw on the Slack you said you'd watched the Fallen Order thing.
Yeah, I
I
did.
thought it was in that opening sequence when they're on the ship graveyard, scrapyard there, that
Mhm.
the music they were playing was like that throat singing. That was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
funky. Like
Yeah, I mean, I knew the Who before I heard that, but it's amazing that they're in there. They're really cool. They make really cool music.
yeah, and it felt super like atmospheric, and it felt alien, but not like any other Star Warsy music, and it
Yeah,
was cool. I really liked it a lot.
yeah, me too.
Sweet. All right. So let's see. We had the project that was set up. Was there anything else any scenes anyone wanted to have while you are in in Starburst? In hyperspace?
I kind of would like to see a scene with Torvald and anybody else on the crew, really, just to see.
I'm kind of wondering if you wanted to have a scene with Karvok to just kind of play on that hook.
Sure. Are you still medicing?
Yeah, like medicating and all that, you know, like
words.
Or maybe pick up a thing with Tolvin walking into the quarters as the DRD zips past Tolvin, running away.
So
I don't need any help, you little drunk.
Are you sure you wouldn't like some help reaching up towards the counter?
It's bad. What do you want?
I just want to know what has happened back there. You were just going in to what? Find one beast and bring it out, and being chased by a herd and dragging a bunch of them and inciting the town? What happened?
What do you think happened? We went in. It all went schlucked. And we got out of there.
I thought maybe for once, if I took time to take care of something that was important outside of our constant grubbing for the next payment, I could trust you at least to not act like a schliznot just out there running around with your head on fire.
Look, when you're up to your neck in Dren, do you really have options?
Okay, I have to close that tab and have an actual conversation. Did you try anything other than just firing?
Did they look diplomatic to you?
Well, I'm not saying talk it to death, but maybe try and find one on its own, not upset the entire hive of them.
The yachts did you think we were trying to do?
Look, I'm just saying there are smoother ways through the universe. I realize, no, that's rude, but you just have to realize you're not in charge of everything here. We're all sort of on an equal playing field. And when you send everything to Frel for yourself, it goes there for us too.
There's not a thing that I do to add to it.
Really, really. So you don't think if you'd just gone in with a nice quiet hunt, pulled out one thing that you're supposed to and kept your heads down, you think maybe when Captain Durgot showed up, they would have said, oh, no, I don't remember any particular crew. I mean, people are in here and out of here all the time. But now when she lands, there's an entire town full of people saying, oh, yeah, you mean the ones who led us on the oh, there are too many weird words. Led us on the damn gorilla hunt.
I'll believe your way works when I see it work. I just sort of sniff and start digging around in the cabinet some more.
Possible.
Man, I don't know. Like, it sounds like being yelled at might cause someone some kind of storm, Carl.
I think that's a little bit stressful. I agree.
I mean, I hate to interject that, but I do think that you don't like Tolvin. Tolvin's coming at you, and I don't know if you've noticed that you only have 3 slots for Storm, and this will be the 3rd slot for Storm. And so,
All right.
bad for you. What do you do?
Lash out immediately. Is that a basic move or?
That's a thing. You just spin to Storm and
Okay.
choose an effect. It just happens.
Okay.
You don't do the big blow up until you try to get a 4th.
Yep.
I see.
That's when you gain Storm while at your maximum. You just hit maximum, so
Gotcha.
you don't
So
have to
it's
spend
danger
all of it
zone.
yet. But yeah, it's starting to get a little bit to you. And Tolvin is coming at you and throwing all of these cool words that makes the SM excited.
We had a conversation that was like a checkbox at the competition.
I mean, it was a little bit of that for a bit there, but I appreciate the effort.
No, I just got a really simple. Oh, Frelu, and what is it that I throw into? I think like as I shout that, like there's a sort of tweak and resonance in the air, and one of the screens on the dashboard cracks.
Don't piss off Karvok in the bridge.
That's mana.
We.
Go on, I'll take care of this.
Tolvin, do you let Karvok dismiss you?
I am like storming out after he breaks things around me like a tiny little child that he looks like, lizard brain.
That was great. Worth the price of admission. Are there any other scenes that folks want before we jump ahead to the commerce station? All right. I have another screen cap from a Farscape episode to share with you, friends. This one's beautiful. It's really cool. Very colorful. I'm just like overhyping it, but damn it. I like this one. Share. So you guys come out of Starburst and you see that near a sun is this commerce station. This commerce station is one of 4. There were 4 a cycle ago. Now there are 2. One is in disrepair. This is the commerce station that's still in good functioning order. This is the place where you can get good price for the Nagelti crystals that you currently have. And hey, if you want to try to move the remainder of those effervescent fluids that you guys held back from the sale, it's what, 20% of a haul? I'm sure you could probably find some money for that too, if you're so bold. And so we'll cut to you guys on the commerce station. And it's Farscape, so we have to have a scene at a bar. This bar is cool because these commerce stations have a. If you go into the NPC tab, there are a couple of folks associated there. I'll highlight them to you. The security here at the commerce station are held by some near Sabations. Keva and Seat are the 2 main folks that are in charge here. The bartender is an alien who is as tall as a Sabatian, but has this giant hump on its back and spider-like arms. He and his brother have worked at the Commerce Station. His brother recently passed, but this is Lidrum, and he's a very good bartender. So the drinks he serves have been referred to as airline fuel by some shadow depository destroying predator pirate by the name of Crichton or Crichton or Cretin or something. So yeah, we come in with the four of you entering the bar here. There's some cool kind of synth music that's playing in the background. It's like a synthy jazz kind of thing. It's not quite jizz music from Star Wars, but not that far off. It's kind of thing where you go in and it's not danceable per se, but it keeps conversation flowing. And Keva and Seat, who are the sec force here on this Commerce Station, they give you guys kind of a glance over at this point. They're probably going to come over and talk to you. Last year, the captain, what do you do?
Nice. So I think I'm going to approach Keva and Seat first.
Okay.
So my overall intention is to put them at ease and let them know that we're just here to try and shop a little bit. We need some supplies. But at the same time, I am then going to look for, what's the term? A useful criminal contact in order to move that's under villainy for me.
Nice.
In order to move the crystals and the drugs. And then I say we all go shopping. Like, for real. Move some money.
That's right. Cool. So you go to talk over them. You've come from a fine pedigree of successful and wealthy criminals. When you're prepared to enter a regulated area, you made hide one small weapon or inconspicuous armor on your person. When dealing with the criminal elite, you have advantage. So Keva comes over and he just kind of reads you the standard act of like, hey, you're on the Commerce Station, no weapons, you need to keep everything down low, fight could end you up in the brig. These things are also illegal, explosives, that kind of stuff. And so he just runs through the standard as you guys are coming into the bar. But you wanted to look around for some member of the criminal element, right? Hey, you're pretty good at that kind of stuff, right? So let's say that there is actually a Sabatian. Her name is Altana, and I will stick a picture of her in the NPCs. You know that she is probably, well, you recognize her from something. Do you imagine that you recognize her from previous dealings, or you've just heard about her through your network?
I have heard that I've heard about her through my network, and if you can impress her, she gives you a really good deal, but you have to watch your back.
Oh, Altana is now, her picture is currently on, starting row 31, Altana. So yeah, you spot her. And do you break off from the group, Loss, or do you take your whole crew, or what's the plan?
I think I'm going to break off from the group, yeah. They're welcome to join me if they want, but yeah.
Kind of, mama got to go talk business.
Yep.
Yeah, you go talk business. I have my mind set on. So.
Zifrin, where are you going?
Wow. I think I want to find out I want to steal something that will impress Lars. So I have
that's
to,
a great idea.
yeah, I have to find something first what that would impress her. Since she's kind of a plant, I'm thinking, what is, oh, okay. No, I'm not going to steal a figurine of some Sebastian. Sorry. I will attempt to find out some rare earth, maybe stuff like that,
Okay.
or some kind of fluid that kind of you could put into her resting place, and that would maybe act as some sort of a drug. I mean, I don't mean to drug her when she doesn't know about it, but if she does know it, I mean, could just make things less weird.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also I could drug myself, which also would maybe help.
Cool. So I was looking at your archetype or playbook moves, and I don't see any of those for just scoping it out. It sounds like you're just scoping it out to try to find something worthwhile, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's maybe the setup when you use your context charm, okay, skills or gadgets to prepare for a covert incursion into hostile territory. And I mean, I mean, I have to find out what kind of territory I need to go in.
Right.
But,
I was thinking you'd probably need scope it out first, and then setup would probably
okay.
be next.
Yeah,
we were on the same page. I just
that
didn't.
seems cool. Yeah, scope it out. I forget that was a move.
It's way over under the exploration moves on the basic moves tab. You roll with calculating.
Yeah, that's what I did for the keeper. I remember that. I've got an 11.
Oh, dang it, guys.
Yeah, I'm good at scoping it out. When it comes to actually follow through, that's where it gets dicey.
That's when it gets more fun.
Yeah,
awesome.
Exactly.
We get 3 questions from the list.
Okay. So I think what I want to ask is, first of all, what here could be a useful opportunity? Because I need something special.
Nice. So what could be a useful opportunity?
Or who?
Who? So you you see a Sebastian who is here, who's being attended by 3 Bannock slaves. And he has this really nice looking ring. It actually looks like it's some kind of technical device as well as just being ornamental, because he uses it to kind of converses with it a couple times. You see like a little image pops up. It's yeah, it looks pretty nice. That's definitely stealable. You could impress the captain with that. She probably wants it for herself if she saw it.
Yeah, okay, but I want some drugs.
Right.
That's what I was going for.
Sorry, I thought you were looking for a cool thing to steal. I apologize.
No, I'm looking for a cool drug to steal.
A cool drug to steal. Well, ignore that. Got the Bannock slaves. Who cares about that guy? So we'll say that somebody with the cool drug to steal. Let me grab my names list. I'm going to say that. Oh, no, I'm not going to do that person. That name brings up too many memories. Should not even put that in the list. So we're going to say that we have a Elonic, which they are similar to Luxon, but don't freak out as much. So they're easier to deal with. But there is an Elonic here who you know by the name of Muquilius, and he actually he deals with a particular intoxicant that the Elonics brew. It's actually a bit of an aphrodisiac. So
not totally unappreciated. So what would be my best way in?
Best way in, best way in is just come in flush with credits. and straight up offer it. Best way in to trick or steal is that he is, I mean, he's a typical male Elonic. You can come in with a little bit of your own sex appeal.
Nah. Okay. Okay. What should I be on the lookout for?
Well, there are those 3 Bannock slaves, and you've got a revolutionary, so that could be a problem. That's what you'd be on the lookout for. Tolva's going to start some shit.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a great diversion, actually.
Tolva's going to start some Dren. Sorry, Rich needs to get into it.
Yeah, that's great. That's actually a good opportunity for me.
Exactly. That's your best way in. Just let Tolvan cause trouble.
Yeah, okay. So I will then saunter over to Tolvan and see what he's doing, and then alert him to that there are slaves and should he do something about it.
Yeah, I think he's at the bar and drinking something like translucent neon orange with just an infinite number of bubbles going through it, sort of like a fish tank aerator.
Nice.
Hey, Tolvan. I wonder.
Hey.
Did you see these fellows over there? They're kind of your people, right?
I think like as you're coming over, he sort of like hastily puts the drink down as if like I wasn't doing that. I was paying attention. Yeah. What? Hi. But then as you point out them, I think the drink just like spills off the bar and breaks as he sees the slaves and sort of jerks. What? When did they get here? What are they doing here?
I think they're kind of they kind of belong to this guy over there.
No, that's the problem. Like I've explained to you over and over again, people can't own other people. They don't rightly belong to that person. They are their own people.
I totally agree with you. I absolutely do. And I would go and talk to these guys and tell it to them, but I'm pretty afraid that they wouldn't listen to me. Because I mean, I'm just a Nibari, and what do I know?
Look, fine. We can work this out. It's fine. We just have to, like I was explaining to Karvok, we just have to approach things intelligently. We need to find out what's going on. So we just need to find out who that Yatsa is that's got them on some sort of leash, and how we can, how we can take him down and I can free them. They'll be grateful.
Probably, yeah. Sure.
And I think that Karvok, you heard this entire conversation, even though you weren't invited into it. They just didn't look down to notice that you were right there.
Oh, come on. Adding a little Karvok to any kind of problem only makes it better.
It does make it better.
So who's the fancy harpooner that's leading him around?
Oh.
I don't know the guy. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, just I think that was more directed at you than at me.
Okay, then I will answer. Sorry, I thought
yeah,
it was
universe.
Still a conversation. What? Speaking of the universe will talk back. His name is well, if you ask.
Yeah, I'll ask the bartender. Yeah.
Oh, Lidrum, who Lidrum has. He's wearing like this little black scarf around his neck. It's a symbol of his mourning for his dead brother. Lidrum says, "Oh, Mom, that's a high roller, Ubero. He enjoys the casinos here on the Commerce Station.
Casinos.
So be careful. He's well connected. Not a good enemy to have."
Oh, I'm very wise. I wouldn't dream of making enemies. I'm just here to drink and have a good time. Aren't we
Oh,
all?
good. Because your Hynerian friend looks very angry.
Oh, that's just his face.
Well, he's not wrong.
So this Ubero, you say comes here a lot? What's his game?
Oh, his favorite game is name of Farscape card game.
Ah, my favorite.
Yep, here's where Rich is like fallen short on games of chance are just not something I remember being a big thing in Farscape.
Ah, that game, you say? I'll have to track down a house of that game. Yeah, while he's distracted. That's the moment. That's the moment when I can sneak in and get a message. Are you still here listening to me? I'm done with the drink. Go away now.
Cool. So yeah, Tulvin's coming up with his plans. Zifrin, you've set up a potential distraction here, but it doesn't look like it's going to be nearly as immediate as you'd hoped.
Yeah,
Tulvin's
well,
running and
that's
screaming.
that's totally fine. I mean, I like it when things blow up, but having a drink right now is also fine. I can wait. I'm patient. I mean, I'm an infiltrator, not an assassin at all. I can wait. Things will blow up sooner or later. Now Carbok also knows what's going on. So
we'll skip over to Loss. Just to kind of step back before we jump into that scene, I do not want to ignore that we have some cool impulse drive related mechanics we should be engaging here. Once you guys sell this, you'll be flush with currency. And just like Steven had said, you guys can go looking for something to spend your ill-gotten gain. So we should definitely kind of cue that up. That'll be the next thing that takes place here after Loss has her conversation. So, Loss.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were heading over to have a conversation with
Altana. So I think I go over to talk to Altana after speaking to Kiva and Seat. And I think I kind of make my way around and I buy a couple of drinks at the bar and I'm going to spend some of my liquid assets, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to make this look good. Meaning that I make it look like I don't need money. And because I'm spending money. And I go talk to Altana and I think I try to get her into her good graces. If that's, talking, betraying someone, making sure that fights happen or don't happen or sex or whatever it takes, I'm going to make sure that she likes me a lot.
All right.
And then I'm going to start talking about like, I need a hookup. I need to move some stuff. We're headed over to another station and I'm going to name one of these good trading stations that's a decent distance away. And it's like, I thought we'd stop here and see if we couldn't find some good deals on, like a new transponder. Or a replacement transponder. Those always come in in handy. Or maybe a little bit. The last time we got a little bit roughed up, and I think I actually show her like a scar, like this sexy scar back here, and I'm like, oh, look at this right here. We got a little bit messed up. We had a fight with like a whole pack of Kidva, and they just came after us, and we killed like half a dozen of them, and it turned out to be pretty good for us. But I think we could use some things to make sure that, like some first aid or maybe better shields or something that would make sure that we're okay. I just wanted to see what you might have.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're definitely hitting that sex appeal. She definitely seems interested, and so she is attracted to you. Based on her reaction, promises of affection will be a thing you can use in exchange if you want to manipulate her. And
Yeah.
Get what you want.
And dealing with the criminal elite, I have advantage.
All right. Yes, you
So I
do.
think, so I think I'm good there.
I think you
And
are.
and this would be a manipulate, not deception. That's right.
Yeah, I don't think you're being. I mean, you deceived a little bit by embellishing your story, but I think at the end you're trying to manipulate her to get a setup and get a hookup, right?
That's right.
Okay.
And if need be, I think as a crew, if I need any help, we have a signal, and maybe someone can step in and cause a fight at a good time or something like that. We'll see. Oh, but I rolled a 10.
Okay.
And that's with Slick.
It is.
Yeah, so I got a 12.
Great. So here's what that 12 gets you. I'm going to move her disposition to friendly. Because she's attracted to you. You've made a few promises, and Altana says, darling, those keyed for wounds you have, they don't look properly healed. You should come back. Let's talk a little business, and then perhaps I can help you. I've got some special medicinal herbs at my quarters.
Oh, that sounds delightful. But, we have to keep everything on the up and up. I have a few little, samples of, some product I'm trying to move. These are the liquid eye drops that we can also partake in. And we can do an exchange, an even exchange, or herbs that will help for some, a good time with me.
Sounds good. I'm always looking for new experiences. And if you have more of that and I like it, then perhaps we'll slide that into the deal as well.
Oh. Yeah, that could be very beneficial. I think we have some. I could probably scare some up.
Good. Michelle, take your blue hand, and the two of you will start to walk away. So now you guys can roll with the disposition of friendly with Hey Big Spender. So, yeah. I think you're flush with cash, with currency, and looking for something to spend your ill-gotten gains. Go ahead and roll with disposition. Now, Patrick, let me check in with you. I don't know if we actually hit this in Coriolis because it wasn't really about buying stuff. And but do you imagine that Hey Big Spender is like one person's rolling for the whole crew, or each person rolls differently? Because I'm not.
I think we each rolled separately.
Okay. Oh, that means everybody else has to.
It was like the payout was a group thing, but everybody has to see how well they do tracking down their own payout or their own stuff.
So you guys offload the Nogelti crystals, and there's a side deal that Lost is trying to work up on her own for some of the effervescent liquids. That's terrible. You rolled a 4. 4. Okay. On a 6-, you can choose one extra, but you have to waste time searching for it. I'll expose you to danger, or you can burn the fuse of an episode strain. Whichever choices you make, spend the rest of your money on frivolous, fleeting pleasures and distractions until you're broke again. So you have a choice. Do you want to waste a lot of time here looking for what you want? You can choose one of the options in the Hey Big Spender, or you can allow me to expose you to danger, or you can burn the fuse of an episode, which effectively advances a countdown clock.
So I don't want to spend a lot of time here. I have a feeling from the foreshadowing that we've seen in the episode so far that we're going to be wanting to get out of here quickly. So you can put me in danger. I think that's going to happen anyway. Or we can advance the clock. I don't have a strong preference which way. So let me look at do I have a choice to make?
You have a choice. The choices are the purchases you can make, like R&R. You can spend time relaxing, clear your stress track. Basic care, heal all harm you've suffered with a few days of rough but competent treatment. Me time, mark a tick on a personal project. Make 1 purchase on advanced gear list. Make 2 purchases on basic gear list.
Fantastic.
This is very like conventional RPG, like shopping, guys. I hope you're okay with that. I think it's kind of neat. It's not really a Farscape-y thing, but you know, they did often have costume changes. Like when Dargo went from slick to like big shoulder pad in between seasons. I love the big shoulder pads. Cool. So who else would like to hit some hay, big spender? Who'd like to go next?
I rolled and I got a 10.
Well, on a 10 plus, you can find your heart's desire, spin big, and live life to the fullest. Purchase 1 item from the specialist or black market list, or choose 3 from below. If you're wondering where all these lists are, they're under the gear tab, which is red. I'll actually move it a little further to the left and closer to where most folks are looking. So,
And there are some really, like, that drone is cool.
yeah, right.
But I think I'm gonna do the 3.
Okay. And one of those is Project Clock, if you wanted.
Yes, that is definitely going to be one of them. One of them is going to be 2 off of the basic gear. I'll pick up liquid assets just to keep some money around, and a pulse pistol.
Nice.
And then choice 3. I don't know. I'll probably pick up an advanced thing that I'll decide on in a minute. But yeah, the personal project thing is Tolvin is gonna take the opportunity for a costume change and some of that liquid money to get like a really fancy sort of like over the top gambler outfit costume change to be able to follow Hubero into his favored gambling den. And I'm basically working myself into a corner and just waiting for like one of the 3 Bannocs to be sort of off duty or sent away from him to get something. And then there's just this like glow from the slits inside his mask as I reach out and have like a mental conversation with this guy.
Nice. Oh, that's not terrifying.
It's fine. It's normal.
It's great. Yeah, it's good. It's not at all weird. I love it.
But yeah, I let him know who I am, that, you know, I'm here representing the resistance, definitely not saying I am the resistance. That tends to dishearten people more than it encourages them.
But you're it? That's all?
But that I have a plan in motion, and he and his fellows need to be ready to rise up to freedom.
Cool. Yes, that sounds amazing. We'll say that this Bannoc, I keep naming people, we'll call them Sarl. It's like Carl with an S. And Patrick, you were here when I admitted that I have a names list where I just went through IMDb for every character in a Farscape episode who I didn't immediately recognize as a character from, who like, oh yeah, that's so-and-so. And I wrote down all those names from like 2 seasons. So that's my names list.
I love a good names list. I've used it repeatedly already. So.
And I'm going to say that Sarl is friendly towards you because you're ticking that project clock. And he's very friendly towards you, actually. He's quite excited, scared of Hubero, but definitely interested in joining the resistance, especially because you are part of that resistance.
Yes, I'm here representing the resistance. I think for my advanced gear, I'm going to pick up a tactical pack because I remember that being very useful.
Yeah, that's how you can. It's like the med kit and gear fixing, and it's like a multi-tool. It's like a multi-pass, but for tools and stuff.
Multi-pass? We have multi-passes?
Multi-pass.
It's another world to fold into this.
I know. That's it. Totally need to make those things. Need to combo that into the Farscape world. Sweet. Karvok.
Yeah, I actually I had a thought, and would it be okay if I actually started a personal project to lead up to this? Because I want to try to start tracking down Lieutenant Cresto.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Because that feels like something I would be doing.
Yeah, because that's really interesting. I'm going to give you one free tick on it.
Cool.
And I'll explain why in just a minute, because it has
All
to do
right.
with a 4 that was rolled earlier.
Oh boy. Oh boy. And are there any sort of various constraints that you want to put on it?
Yeah, so you want to find Cresto. Then I'm going to say that this is a scene project.
Oh.
Here. Yeah, she's not far. Yeah, you be careful what you wish for, friend. I don't know if you already copied the personal project in. I will do that.
Not yet.
Cool.
Okay.
All right. So there we go. If you look on row 118 under your character. So this is a scene project. And this is the project is find Cresto, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just find Cresto. Cool. So it's going to be dangerous. And you'll need to get the crew to hang tight here. And so I'll just go ahead and lead into that. You're at the bar. Maybe you're scanning some kind of board on the data pad to figure out purchases and settling everything up, and do a little bit of side research to try to find some information on Lieutenant Cresto, when I'm trying to think of who would bring it in. Yeah, it's probably somebody from the security staff. You know, they've got those cool kind of belt buckle type, the straps and everything. One of them comes in, sets a little chip on the bar, and this little hollow projector pops up, and there's Lieutenant Cresto. She's projected directly ahead, and then there's a projection of her mirrored but facing to the right, and a projection of her mirrored facing to the left. And she says, "I am Lieutenant Cresto of the Peacekeeper Science Division. We are in search of a particular Hynerian who has escaped confinement. Approach this Hynerian with caution. He is extremely violent. He is wanted for the murder of an entire village of Sebaceans. There is a great deal for anyone, a great deal of credits for anyone who will contact me with information about this Hynerian." And then a picture of Karvok comes up. And it's Karvok. Sure enough, he looks just a teeny bit younger. There's a little bit more hair on his little ear brows, but it's certainly Karvok. And then it says Karvok. But unless you're using a fake name, then it can totally be whatever your old name was. Is Karvok his birth name? Or?
I think it's his birth name. I don't think he's subtle enough to use aliases.
He's a blunt tool. He's a blunt instrument. I love it. So yeah, it says his name, Karvok. And then the hollow dies down, and you feel many, many, many eyes on you, Karvok. So yeah, all you need to do is get the crew to stay here, and she'll show up. Because someone's going to sell you out. Zifrin, you've got a hey big spender roll to make.
Oh, right. Cool. What do I roll it with?
Great question. You roll with the disposition for the local vendors. And if you look under NPCs, the default for the local vendors here, this faction, the commerce station is neutral. So just rolling 2d6.
Okay.
Unless you have a move that obviates that, that's what you do.
Don't think so, but I've got an 11, so.
Wow, that's awesome. So the Hey Big Spender is under the moves, special, and com. Com is short for commerce. And so you get 3, purchase 1 item from the specialist gear or black market gear list, or choose 3 from below.
Okay, so make 1 purchase, make 2, okay. I guess. I really want to find something really worth stealing. I mean, something big, right? Maybe I just wanna steal something that will give me psychic powers. Because come on, everybody on this ship seems to have psychic powers. I mean, she must have psychic powers, because I wouldn't feel like that about her if she hadn't. And Carvok can explode, and Tolvan is either just very creepy or also has psychic powers. So I want to find something that will, and I think that's a personal project. I want to go find something that will give me psychic powers, and then I want to steal it, and then I want to be amazing.
Okay.
At everything.
So your personal project is that you want to get psychic powers.
Yeah. It's probably a stupid idea, but hey, what the hell? If everybody can do it, then I want to do it too. Because Nebari usually don't have these, right?
I mean, maybe they do, but then they're captured and, it's a bad thing.
Right. Yeah, okay. But usually they don't have them, so
yeah.
I want to have them. And it's forbidden for whatever reason. So I want to have them extra special.
Nice. So I'm going to say that you getting some kind of psychic powers is not as far out of reach as you might have imagined. So
Afraid of that.
You can do it. It is a scene clock. You just need 2 ticks.
Wow. Sounds like it's
it's so easy. You're going to need to get some. Turns out that here on the commerce station, where most anything can be bought and sold, there are people who can surgically alter your brain. So
nice.
Yeah, you just need to go there and pay them their fee, and they will operate on your mind to give you psychic powers. So that's what you're going to need to do first, is pay a significant sum. You don't have that kind of money. You're probably going to need to steal something.
Yeah, that should be easy. There's this guy who will be in trouble sooner or later. Kitty.
Also, while you're thinking about how to come up with enough creds to make this score, you see that announcement from a Peacekeeper, and what's offered to turn in Carvok. It's about,
interesting.
Yeah, that to be a thing. You should probably check in with Andy, but just saying that's a possibility.
Maybe we can turn him in and then just rescue him again. I mean, that maybe I'll talk to Lass, I think, about the whole thing. That's a good idea. Talk to her. Let's see if we can sell Karvik out and then rescue him. And then pretend that somebody else had sold him out, so he'll be grateful to us for rescuing him. Yeah.
It sounds like the best plan.
Yeah. All my paths are the best plan.
So you track down Alas at Altana's quarters.
Yeah. Oh wow, no, I don't want to disturb them. I can.
Oh, you don't? You sure?
All right. I mean, Yeah, it's a business opportunity. Time window is pretty narrow. So, okay, I will go in.
Door opens.
Door's not locked.
Oh,
Right.
no, it's not open. The door's open. Cool. I mean, if it was locked, I could probably convince some computer to
Well,
open it for me anyway.
You could just say
So-
it's. You know what? Why don't we have you use your cool hacking and cracking? Because it is locked, but you can easily pull it off like it wasn't locked because you're so good at this, right?
Yeah, I like that. I roll with slick.
Yep, you got to
Got it.
discharge the move. So I'll go ahead and mark it
Yeah,
as discharge and roll with slick.
I have a 7, I think. Yes. It's
Okay.
discharged. I get a 7. It's no cakewalk. I mean, yeah, I'm triggering an alarm, obviously, and there will be traces of my incursion because I'm just opening the door and going in. This is
Perfect. Those selections were 100% appropriate.
Yeah, I mean, this wasn't. I just didn't want to deal with the stupid door and knocking or something like that, so I just open it and the alarm goes off.
Oh yeah, the alarm goes off. Lost your in the sheets, as it were. And Altana immediately like slides over and grabs a pulse pistol and slides off the bed and comes up, and so we have a camera angle and she's obviously naked but hidden by the bed.
And Laws is basically lying still in the sheets, just covered in, drenched in sweat, and kind of looks up and sees Zivrin and is like, "Oh,
Hey, Lars, I
glad
have
you're
to talk.
here."
Yeah, I have to talk to you a bit about some business stuff. Sorry at the other woman. Sorry, just business, nothing
Oh.
to do with you.
We're all talking business here. Do you want to talk this kind of business, or is it a different kind of business?
No, it's a different kind of business.
And I think I turn to Altana and I say, "Duty calls. You know how it is. I'm sorry
she
about."
reaches over and hits a button to turn off the alarm that was like "Hwee, hwee, hwee."
I'm sorry
Nice
about the
alarm.
disturb, but these things happen, and I'm sure I'll see you the next time around. And I think I leave like the equivalent of a calling card there on the table.
Yeah,
And
and her
get up.
eyes are still kind of cataracted from the eye drops drug that you had let her sample, and she says, "I'll be disappointed to see you leave, but I'll enjoy the view."
And no shame, right? Just walk completely out through the hallway.
I kind of walk behind her just to block the view, and I throw a very dirty look at Altana.
And I have, I think I have my clothes and supplies and stuff draped over my arm, and just kind of walk out.
Nice. And you walk right past a couple of slightly surprised security station security members who were coming running for this alarm, and then they poke their head in, and Altana, she just kisses her little heart pendant on that she has around her neck and closes the door on them. So cool. Zifrin, you have extricated Laws from that sticky situation.
Oh, Lars, look, I hear that there is somebody coming who's offered a large bounty for Carvok. And I was thinking maybe we could kind of, I mean, this is kind of a douche move, but we could kind of turn him in. I mean, he's a douche too, so he will probably understand. And then rescue him, of course.
Oh, I like this plan. Can we make it look like someone else turned him in?
I thought, yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
There was this drug dealer with these, what are their names? These slaves. Maybe we can pin it on him.
Oh, that sounds perfect.
Yeah, Bonnick, right. Yeah, so we only have to see that he doesn't get the bounty.
Oh, that's a good point.
The reward.
Yeah, I mean, do you think you can set up like a fake account with his name and our account number?
Sure.
Yeah. Sounds like a thing.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll leave the talking to you because you're so much prettier.
Yeah, no problem.
But I can set up an account totally.
That's kind of sweet, that little compliment there. Yeah, so you guys are coming up with your plan. You know that someone else is going to be turning Karvok in, so you're going to have to do it as quickly as possible. It sounds like what you want to do is turn Karvok in, but lay the blame on someone else, right? So that sounds to me like someone is trying to be a con artist. So Las, you are eminently suited for such a thing.
Just Andy, are you okay with this? Because this is betrayal by other PCs, and I think you're okay with this by the way you were laughing. But
thank you for out loud checking in. I really appreciate that. I should have facilitated that. I suggested it, but I didn't push the issue. Thank you so much, Sabine. So do you want to lean on, allow Las to lean on you? Her beautiful Delvian nude body leaning on you, Zifrin. It's not awkward. It's totally okay.
That seems very distracting.
I know.
Yeah, I mean, sure.
Awesome. Go ahead and roll stalwart.
Oh, do I roll stalwart? Or
sorry.
She rolls.
No. So if Zifrin wants to support Las making the con roll, then Zifrin rolls lean on me before, because you could potentially give
okay.
advantage.
Okay, I thought I would have to roll the hacking and cracking for the fake ID, but I could do it with a...
that's
But I could also do a lean on me and say that.
Yeah. We'll say that the way you're doing the lean on me is you're hacking and cracking. Because you're out of that one particular scene, I'm going to go ahead and remove the discharge check on you, because that's more of a discharge, and once the scene concludes, you're good. So.
Okay. So I'll make my... Oh, wow, I've got a 5. So this lean on me didn't work so very well. Sorry.
Nice.
Oh, no. I can't complain about, all that XP that we all keep getting and I keep rolling poorly. So, yeah.
Yeah, I have 1 XP now. I'm very happy about that.
Well,
also, this I don't know, maybe I don't know how that fails. I mean, maybe the hacking roll isn't the one thing that fails, but I get in your way a lot because I try to kind of come between you and people who would like to hit you up.
Yeah, I think, Zifra, you're not super supportive. There's obviously that awkwardness between the two of you. And I think this is stressing you a little bit. Like, you just saw Las hooking up with somebody else, totally cool, casual. I mean, was she that casual about you two? Did that mean anything? It obviously didn't, I guess. So I think you're going to need to mark stress. I've marked
stress.
Yeah. Cool. So go ahead and roll the con artist there as you reach out to the Peacekeeper ident that was left by the calling card there from Lieutenant Cresto.
So I rolled an 8 plus my slick is a 2, so that would be 10.
Nice. Your deception is masterful. Hold 2. And as you act out to maintain your deception, it's been hold. So what does it sound like when Las is reaching out to report this dangerous Hynerian who killed an entire village of innocent Sebastian colonists?
So I think, Las, since we're kind of at a rush, we find kind of a secluded terminal to place this call. And I think Zifrin is kind of working the controls underneath, so she's kind of down underneath the console. And I literally take like my tank top that was kind of draped over my arm, and I put it over my head so it looks like a cowl. And I have that wig that I have on, and I put it on, but I put it a little bit akimbo so that like some of the hair sticks out from underneath the cowl, but you can't really see my face.
Right.
And as soon as the screen comes on, I affect a voice that I don't do voices, but affect kind of a disguise and a slurred Cockney kind of voice that like someone who can't who doesn't make much money, someone like a beggar or just a scofflaw would use, and say, I hear you have a reward out for someone, and I just saw them. They're here on this station, and I'm going to give you the coordinates as soon as you transfer the money.
Nice. Cool. And then you can make those expenditures.
So that would be suspicion or blame is shifted away from me.
Okay.
And then the other choice is something small escapes their notice. And this would probably be, any discrepancies in the connection between, like, I'm obviously a female voice and this ident is, Hubero is like this guy. So, there's obviously a few issues that they don't check up on.
Nice. Yeah. And the peacekeeper who responds is obviously some kind of low-ranking cadet who's just kind of monitoring the hotline, as it were. And he seems excited and does miss all of the little subtle clues that this may not be completely genuine. He reads off a script, right? Like he has a response script that he pulls up on his little console, and he says, yes, very well. The reward credits will be transferred to your personal account as soon as Lieutenant Cresto arrives at your location at Commerce Station 2. She will be there in 2 hours. Thank you for your information. And we have logged you and your contact, Mr. Barrow, for the transfer.
Am I supposed to get them to wait? I mean, why can't you send the money now?
I understand that the credits are very important to you, and we will do our very best to make sure that this secure transaction takes place as quickly as possible. But of course, there have been previous times when reports were not entirely accurate, and therefore Lieutenant Cresto has requested visual confirmation of the target before the credits will be transferred to your account.
Okay, I might have to see if I can turn him into the local authorities so that, he stays here. I'll do something.
It's quite acceptable if you wish to use the station security to make sure that the Karvok, it does not escape. The credits will still be transferred to your personal account, Mr. Barrow.
That sounds. Yeah, I can work that out.
We wish you the best of luck and thank you for communicating with us, Mr. Barrow. And goes off.
They don't say peace out when they leave, right?
Okay. So, Karvok, yeah, that thing happened, and most of your crew's off doing their own stuff, and there are a lot of people who are kind of eyeing you, and yeah, the station security's there, and I think you get a storm. Yeah, it's a good thing you burned that one off, but it's pretty stressful. God, I love just like giving storm. Like I don't even have to wait for a failure. It's just like a situationally appropriate. Take a storm. I want a storm game. I want everyone to be all Tempest all the time. Tempest the RPG. Stand off storms. Okay. Anyway, what do you do, Karvok? Oh, I'm sorry. You're muted, Andy.
I look around and my impulse, right, is to just start lashing out. And then I take a moment and reconsider.
Even Spider Bartender guy is like, this is not going to be good.
I just sort of try and play it cool as I slide over some more credits for a drink.
You're just going to stay on the stool and just like hang out at the bar?
I'm gonna like try and just almost write it out, like act like I'm not concerned about it, and maybe make them think twice
Ooh.
about why I'm so confident.
Oh, so you want to exude kind of a, you don't want to mess with me kind of intimidation thing going on here?
Yeah.
Hot. I'm into that, man. Why don't you go ahead and roll with just a straight up intimidation? And I think it's pretty clear, like what you want them to do is just to be too afraid to physically approach you, right? Is that, am I reading? Okay. Then let's have you go ahead and roll volatile.
All right. Well,
that appears to be snake eyes.
On the bright side.
When I look over on the
bright
screen,
side,
I see 2 green. And so the good news is that you get to mark an XP.
That's an XP.
Yep, that's awesome. So the less than good news is that Kiva and Seat, they have like a brief conversation with each other as you're being, bad news Hynerian, who's like a 1.5 foot tall, and evidently these Kiva and Seat aren't like, they're not terribly, they don't buy it. So you're trying to be a bad Zoc, and they walk up, and Kiva is the person who was talking to Captain Loss, but Seat, she steps forward and she kind of slides herself over, and she's got her hand on her pulse pistol. She says, why don't you come with us? And you realize it's going to happen. There's a fight, and I think that's pretty stressful, don't you?
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think that they're going to force another storm on you.
All right.
Now you're about to go. You would go above your max. So now let's take a look at that storm move. So when you gain storm while at your maximum storm capacity, the strain causes you to either lash out immediately and spend all of your storm at once, or you can just mark 1 stress.
I think I marked the stress for now. You just kind of, you see maybe even sort of the brief flash of light through his augmented eye. And he doesn't say anything, but you can just kind of see his body language tense up, and then he looks up. All right. Let's go.
Nice. And when you say let's go, I think that they're going to this is great. So Keva actually has a pair of like Farscape couplers, or not Farscape, but like, Peacekeeper binders, but they're not made for Hynerians. So he pulls them out, he looks down, and he just puts them away. Yeah, I love that. It's like a little bit of atmospherics. I think the Karvak, when we see the flicker over your eye, like maybe one of the lights above your head kind of go out, and it's a little darker around you. And both Keva and Seat are like, there's a pause as they go, that was weird. This guy's a little spooky for a Hynerian. But then you say, okay, let's go. And they're going to walk, one in front of you, one behind you. They don't have the pulse pistols drawn out, but they're wary, and they're going to lead you to the brig. They haven't pulled your little like comm unit, little golden kind of brassy badge thing there. So Oh, I think you're talking to mute again. Somehow you got muted. Sorry.
I'm gonna try. Yeah, I muted myself again while I was listening, and then I forgot to unmute. I'm going to just very discreetly try to like tap it, in the hopes of contacting the rest of the crew.
Sure. You tap it. What do you say to the rest of the crew? Especially Tolvin, who's like chatting with the Bannock slave and talking about right outside of a casino.
I'm sort of, making this idle, this idle talking to myself sort of speech, like things certainly look like they're getting tense around here. I hope this won't take too long. The two of you.
And then you would hear Seat say, "Let's just move along. There's no reason for there to be any trouble."
Oh, no, there's certainly not. I don't need any help over here. No, for sure.
And I think we see the screen kind of switch over to Loss and Zivrin. And I think they both hear this, and they're like, there's our cue.
And then I just kind of like cough very audibly.
Nice. So let's jump to Tolvin. So yeah, Tolvin, you have been chatting up with your fellow Bannock. He is 100% on board. Sarl is totally bought in. He's very excited about the possibility of being free. I knew that today would be a good day.
It's not over yet. The hard part is still to come, but you can find your way. And I have a safe haven. We will have a safe haven for all of you, all three of you. Says totally reassuringly.
And yeah, he's into it. He says, "The stars have blessed me. The Psycheri will guide us to freedom. Of course, we will need to take care of a barrow first. How should we do that?"
We need to get him out of here and somewhere where he's less surrounded.
And let's say he's like in front of like some kind of electronic roulette wheel kind of thing going on, and he's got the other two Bannock slaves attending him. One of them, she brings him a drink, and he drains it, and he hands it back to her, and it falls, and then he screams at her because it's her fault, And they're cleaning it up, and Sarl just does that all the time.
Actually, let me go talk to the bartender for a minute. And I've got some extra cash to wave around. Does the bartender have any, special drinks, like really strong drinks for someone who really wants to like spend the night really partying and wants something incredibly strong, more than would be in the normal bottles?
Oh, you want the kick in the meevonks? Yeah, the kick in the meevonks is what you want, but it's not cheap.
Look, I just need about half a bottle, no more. Like looking back and forth between the bartender and Humbero and like sizing him up sort of visually.
Okay, cool. If you want to spend one of your liquid assets, you can purchase a kick in the meevonks, half a bottle.
Yes, definitely. There.
And he gives it to you in this cool little decanter, and it's like this red and orange CGI thing that liquids can't really do.
Nice. It's like a lava lamp in a bottle.
Basically, yeah. You're drinking lava lamp stuff, yep.
Then yeah, I'll make my way back to where I was and signal for Sarl to come over. I say this. Just make sure this gets into his glass. Doesn't notice anything, just keep him distracted. If he downs it, he should be either out or causing his own distractions.
You want me to do this?
Well,
I thought that you were the deliverer.
I am the deliverer of you, but I can't get close enough to him without causing suspicion. It doesn't have to be you. He seems to take whatever she hands him to drink.
So I think that you need to, I don't know, like, are you keeping your cool by showing him how to be cool? Or are you trying to manipulate him into doing what you want? What do you think you're doing here?
I think it's probably manipulate.
Yeah. All right.
He wants this, but also at the same time very much does not want to do this.
Yes, he does not want to be the one who's doing this. Now, you did give him, I'll let you roll with advantage because you said, oh, yeah, have the other one do it. And yeah, that's a thing that he seems a little more accepting of.
Just everybody can pretend that they didn't do it if there's a long enough chain.
That's right. That's how government works. You started your own government already. The government of 4.
All right, well, that's a 9.
Nice. All right. They choose one. Make a counteroffer to be settled now before they do what you want. Ask you to promise something and provide concrete assurance you'll follow through, and they'll do what you want. He says, I will bring Voodie over here. She will listen to me and you. We will talk to her, and you give her the drink. Yes. Yes.
Fine, yes. Just, this is getting very obvious. Just try and keep him distracted.
He reaches up and he massages your shoulder. He says, yes, this deliverance is at hand. The Bannocs will be free. You are a deliverer.
Stop saying things like that out loud. This is a very bad place to do that.
He says, I'm sorry, I'm not used to being freed.
No, stop saying that too.
He goes over and he talks in low tones with Voodie, the female Bannoc, and she looks back and she looks at him and she looks at him like, really? And then she looks back at you, and then you can see she focuses in on the mask, and then she's like, oh, it's a Sticary. Oh crap. And then she whispers something into Barrow's ear, and he kind of smacks her away and then has them do another rotation. So she hustles over and she says, my foolish coworker says that you have something you wish to give Mr. Barrow.
No, I have something that I wish to give to you. I wish to give you and all of our kind freedom. Freedom from these oppressors, from people who use us simply to clean up their messes, to make sure that the universe is a happier place for them to exist in. But I need your help. Can I try and like as I'm there having conversation with her, I think like this golden glow, it starts up from between the visor again.
Ooh, yeah. Are you going to
suggest? I'm going to try and embrace eternity with her, actually.
Ooh. Oh, man. I wonder if Embrace Eternity, like we could do that for like the Delvian Unity to share Unity. Like
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it's totally that thing. But this is awesome. Okay, so Embrace Eternity. When you reach out, gently reach out and mingle your mind with the energies and auras of something living nearby. Discharge this move and roll with Alien.
I can't quite, I don't think I can get up to the point of like taking off my mask here in the middle of public, but trying to let that like glow reflect in her eyes.
Nice.
You. Wow. Okay. That is a 10.
Nice. Okay. So on a 10, the connection is open. Ask 2 questions from the list, and they ask 1.
Who or what do you wish to protect?
My son, who is not here.
And what are you willing to sacrifice for your beliefs? for your son.
For his freedom, I would sacrifice anything. My life, my well-being, sanity, all are open and available if it would guarantee his safety, his happiness.
You see, there is no choice. There's simply a path. What would she ask back?
Yes, now I get to ask a question as well. Let me jump back to look at those questions again. What do you have faith in, my brother?
I have faith in the future. I have faith in our people, that we can be our own people once again. And I think this sort of like vision dream that he has of the future of, Bannex in their own society, in some sort of haven where they're safe, and not just safe in hiding, but safe to be. I think that sort of like vision is what I'm sharing with her to try and convince her that I'm the real thing.
She accepts this vision. She believes in it and tells you, I will help you. I will help you to free my brothers, but I cannot leave. Because Ubero has told me many times he would take it out on my son. I will remain. I
Then
hope that
you'll
you come
stay.
back. Yes.
You'll stay until I bring your son to free you with me.
My son is captured in another area, on a planet where Ubero, his family, holds sway. I hope that you are able to free him. And I wish you luck.
I know that you're making the sacrifice for him, but know that you're making a sacrifice for all of our people. One way or another, you will not be forgotten.
If you free him, would you tell him about me? Tell him that his mother loves him.
You'll have the opportunity yourself. Now go. It has been too long already. He'll get suspicious.
Yeah, she takes the decanter of Cake and the Mevonks and she pours it in and hands it to him, and he takes a big swig of it, completely trusting in one of his slaves, and soon he kind of slips a little bit and starts to fall, and she looks alarmed and looks around, and Sarl is like, "You're freeing us now. We're going now. I'll go get my friend." He goes to get the other panic, and the other panic's like, "We're going to get in trouble." And then Sarl's like, "No, we have to go," and he will take off. And meanwhile, security's kind of moving in to check out what's going on with their high roller. You need to beat feet. Why don't you act quick to see if you guys can avert notice of the guards? And then all of a sudden, two of his slaves just like took off.
Let's see, slick. I could be better.
You're slick.
Ooh,
You're pretty
see.
slick. I stuck a picture in for Voody. Did you do great?
Oh yeah, I did so great. You shouldn't even look at the roller page. That's how great I did. I got a 5.
Nice. You got a 5. That is awesome.
But my entirely level-headed and well-trained escapees surely couldn't be causing any problems in all of this.
Yeah, so here's what happens. You start to make your way all the way out. You step into the corridor on the outside of this small casino hall, like this gambling hall. and Saul has moved up to join you. And the third, the Bannock slave who Saul was bringing along, he like looks back to make sure everything is cool, and then he runs right into a server who has this big tray of glasses, and she's like, "Oh!" The glasses go everywhere and crash, and all the station security, there's like 5 of them. They all turn their heads, and then Foodie says, yeah, she kind of freaks. She goes, no, she tries to act like she's falling, and don't buy it. She just like thinks quick, but then does not pull off the lie. So she falls down and like flips the table, and there are credits going everywhere, and it starts a little panic, but there are 3 security guards who are taking off after you guys, you and your 2 Bannock buddies. What do you do? Oh, go ahead and mark that XP.
Yeah, I did. I feel so much better about everything now. Yeah, I guess I sent the 2 of them like running up ahead towards head towards the shipyards that way. I'll catch up with you. And I'm waiting around a corner, like weapon readied. I have this sort of like metal and chain and rings gauntlet, as I'm also hitting I'm like pulling back out my communicator, where obviously I'd stuck it away so that like random calls couldn't give me away in the middle of my sleep.
Exactly. Wow, like super inconvenient.
Yeah.
Do not disturb mode on.
I'm hitting it going, hey guys, I have a slight situation I could use a hand with. Guys, you there?
Awesome. And so what we, the audience, see is that you're in this corridor with your gun trained, or your weapon trained for when these 2 station security walk out. You're calling for help. And as you do not see that there is a female Luxon, Captain Durgat, who has a pulse rifle, and she's walking up behind you. No, she has a Qualta blade. She's got a Qualta blade. So she's walking up behind you, and in the moment that you hear it, which is where we'll end the episode, is when she drops the tip of the blade and scrapes it along the deck plating. And it goes shh. And then we'll end tonight's session there. Cool. So, friends, we get to do a post game thing. That is on, it's called Cliffhanger. And it is on the Moose Special and Calm. And so when you reach the end of an episode, go through the following. Each player takes a turn reading their hooks. The table agrees that at least one of the player's hooks impacted events or the character the player marks XP. The player then removes any hooks they feel are no longer relevant and writes new hooks, inspired either by recent events in the game or their original hooks list from character creation. So let's go to, oh, Captain, my Captain. Boss, read us your hooks.
My hooks are, Tolvin isn't a leader anymore. I don't have to take their orders. I don't think anything happened with that. Karvok is an easy mark. I'll wrap them around my smallest digit. And I still don't think that happened.
No, I mean, you basically agreed to the plan to send Karvok up the river for your benefit.
True.
And the fact I'm such an easy mark that like I didn't even consider that.
Yeah, it's not even worth consulting.
You know, I called the crew for help.
Yeah,
No.
true. But I really strongly did the last one, which is I slept with Zivrin, and now it's awkward.
Absolutely. So, mark an XP for
absolutely.
That one.
Yeah.
Faux show.
Yeah.
Cool. Do you have any hooks you want to rewrite, or are no longer relevant?
I'm pretty happy with these right now.
Good. Okay. Awesome. Zivrin, please read us your hooks.
Okay, so my hooks are, Karvok might suspect what I've done, but I'll make sure they can never prove it. I didn't hit that. I might hit it next session because
are you sure
we
you
know
didn't
what
make a new meaning of that?
Maybe. I also have Lastron and I share a secret that must not be compromised. I didn't hit that either, but I will rewrite that one for something about that I really want Lastron to be my whatever.
I think that's
thing.
a good revision to that hook. I like it.
Yeah, but I am addicted to adrenaline. I take risks just for the thrill of it. I did that because
That was an excellent hook.
Yeah, that's an
And you
excellent
definitely
hook.
hit that one. So
Yeah.
Mark XP. Good. And you already mentioned the one you want to rewrite. Karvok, read us your hooks.
Yeah. Zivran has seen me at my most vulnerable. I'll make sure they never tell anyone what they saw. And I don't think we hit it this time around, but I think that can be potentially an interesting one to play off of. I'll think about that one next session for sure.
Cool. What's your next one?
Lieutenant Cresto ruined my life. I will see her destroyed. And oh, did that kick in?
Yeah, most def. And then you think it's two, so you have one more,
Yeah,
right?
the third one, I'm at the mercy of my fear and must struggle against its impulses. I'm considering rewriting that one to be something more direct, whether it's in general or whether it involves someone specific. So,
yeah, I mean, we can even say that you kind of hit that because there's so much storm happening, but I think a revision that's a little more applicable or personal sounds fun.
I don't think it's necessarily driven anything.
Sure.
And I want to see if I can find something that drives more.
Awesome. I look forward to hearing what the new one is, but you definitely got the XP for Cresto. So mark that. And Tolvin, read us your hooks.
See, I will teach Karvok that not every problem can be solved with violence, which we had a scene for, and then I turned around and did my clever plan, which is degraded into violence. Lost can't keep it in their pants, and it's going to cause problems. I was not personally involved in that, but I want to point out I was not wrong.
Lost is going to wear pants most of the time, it seems.
I think there will be plenty of opportunity to bring that up to Lost next session.
And then I can't let Zifrin know how much they intimidate me, which there's just a little bit of. Didn't do much with that, but might try and lean into that more next time.
Definitely XP for hitting those others pretty darn well. That is pretty brilliant. Great. So any of those you wanted to rewrite? Are you good?
I think I'm gonna let them ride for this time, and I may rewrite some after next one.
All right, now I'm going to ask the following questions, and you guys will answer them as a group. Did you complete a mission or contract? I think yes. You sold off the Galactic crystals and did the big spender. You guys good with that? It feels like that's the way this game resolves that stuff. Good. So you will mark an XP for that. Yes. Did you learn something new and important about the universe?
Yeah, I learned that psychic powers are really easily available.
So easy.
Apparently, just 2 ticks.
Yeah, so easy. Did you make a new enemy or thwart an existing enemy?
Yeah. Our new enemy, I think, is Hubero.
Yeah, just Hubero. Yep. Was there a big moment that hinged on a crucial role?
Can't think of one really.
All the roles seem super tense.
Yeah,
I can't say one more than the other.
Yeah.
Were there any failures that you felt like kind of pivoted the?
Not like last time.
Well, in this case, I actually think the failure with the waiter and the tray and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, actually.
Oh yeah.
And pivoting us into like, what's her name? The captain showing up and trouble for next time.
Yeah, we basically, Okay, good. You guys get to mark XP for that one. Isn't that great? All from one failure. Thanks, Patrick. So glad you joined.
I'm here to give.
This game has gone from Farscape to kind of the Dresden Files novels where like they've introduced 3 threats and then they all show up at the same time.
True. So is that 3 XP from the questions?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4 questions, and I think you guys answered yes to all of them. So,
Okay.
Yeah, each yes, mark XP. So that's 4 XP. This game is advancement heavy. It's crazy. Love it. Awesome. So let's do our post-game feedback. We are at time, so if anybody needs to go, totally respect your time. It was a 3-hour thing. We're a little bit over, but I'd love it to hear some stars and wishes, gentle feedback that everybody enjoys. You get 2 stars and a wish. Stars are highlights for the session or particular moments that you enjoyed. Great opportunity to give positive feedback to your fellow players. And then a wish is something you'd like to say, hey, this is a thing I'd like to see in session 3, 4. I will say that these are really valuable to me because I re-listened to the second half of our session today just to remind myself of everything, and those wishes were a big part of my planning for tonight's session. So who would like to go first for 2 stars and a wish?
I will go first because I will now I've got 2 stars and I've got 4 people I want to give stars to. So I will replicate them, I guess, maybe? No. What I would like to actually give stars for is Torvald's plea and the whole slave freeing thing that was kind of very, very lovely. And the other star would go to the situation with the bounty on Carvok's head and Lass going with the whole plot. Like, yeah, let's do this. That's a great idea. Let's shift the blame to somebody else. I really love that. That was a lot of fun. Yeah, and since I'm out of stars, I would just say thank you, Rich, for bringing this and for creating all these cool NPCs. And wishes for next time. I mean, I really want to see the expletive hit the technical term.
That's great. That's great. Thank you so much. awesome. So who would like to go next with 2 stars and a wish? I love this pick list of like, I want all of the stars, but I only get 2.
It's very cruel.
It is.
I'll go. I will give a star to Sabine for Sifrin, especially like very specifically the coming up with the plan to, hey, let's sell Carvok and then break it back out and make a little extra cash that way. Which, like I said, I'm pretty sure is the plot of like 2 or 3 Farscape episodes. So that is just perfectly on theme from you, Sabine. That was lovely. And I'll give a star to Andy for in the very like small term, just having the like slang battle back and forth was really enjoyable. But in a larger sense, like I really appreciate you being willing to lean into like an antagonistic relationship that we can have that doesn't feel destructive. It just feels like competitive. So I really appreciated that feel from it. Wish for next time. I don't know. It was sort of like the character creation episode for me. So I felt like I went down a couple rabbit holes of my own story, just trying to figure out where my character was. So I really want to find ways to tie those threads back into the crew and really like enmesh my story with them next time rather than being, sort of doing my own thing.
Oh yes, I look
Which
forward
is as much
to
my fault.
yeah, I look forward to your trouble coming towards them. That's going to be great as you beg for help while about to get more trouble than you thought you bargained for. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. All right, who'd like to go next with 2 stars and a wish?
I can do that.
Okay.
My first star definitely goes out to Stephen for just super. This episode, you just leaned hard into the whole characterization, like the charmer smuggler captain, like that came off A+ this time, along with the whole like awkward sexual tension, which was great. I guess it's kind of a shared star even, but also to Patrick, because you brought a concept that felt very Farscape-y and you made it work with the playbook in a really cool way, I thought. Like, it felt very authentic to me. And then in terms of a wish, like, I imagine we're going to see Lieutenant Cresto, so my own wish is to actually get a bit of insight into what drives her, and, you know, even maybe see what makes her more than just, you know, the evil peacekeeper scientist.
Nice. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that goes. That'll be fun.
A sympathetic villain.
Yeah, there's no such thing as that on Farscape. Oh wait, I'm totally lying. And then I think we're missing one person first. 2 stars.
Oh, that's me. I haven't gone yet. Yeah. I'll start with wishes. To be honest, I felt like I kind of hogged the spotlight with Sabine's character, and we did a lot of stuff. And so next session I'd like to get more interaction with Patrick and Andy's characters. It's one of those things, you know, I feel like I want to interact with all of them all at the same time, and there's not enough, you know, time to do all of that, and not enough space, but they're so good and they're so interesting, so I can't wait. Let's see, stars. I felt it was actually hilarious. I felt like everybody brought the theme to the, you know, to the game of the show, and I'm surprised at how well the system fits for Farscape. I was like, oh, all of this stuff seems just like the show and just like the pieces I've seen, and it makes a lot of sense. And especially the NPCs that you've pulled up and all of that. That's fantastic.
Thank you.
The other star I'll actually give, I guess I kind of gave it already to the, I like the system. Like you said, the system's very advancement heavy, and it's also very entanglement heavy, and I like the shopping trip and all that kind of stuff. And looking around and saying, hey, what can I take here and what can I do here? It keeps me engaged and pushing the story forward. Like, for example, I never would have dreamed, like, typically whenever I play a PPTA game, I look through and I'm like, okay, I'll probably take this advancement next. And like the sexy move was like at the very bottom. But like after last session, I was like, ooh, that kind of fits for her. That's great. I'm going to do that. So I found that as I discovered the character, I was like, oh, let's take this move. This is really good. So I like that.
Nice.
Yeah,
thanks. Thanks again, friends, for playing this. This definitely hit that that Farscape feel of like there's too many bad things happening at once, and I don't know how they're going to get out of this. And I did the space ace master don't know how you're going to get out of all this trouble. I'm so excited to see how bad it gets and how good it gets. It's great. We're going to free some bandit slaves and get shot at by pulse rifles and pull off a scam. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So we'll see all of you guys in a week as we continue Farscape Fridays.